Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day to start things off. Niklas Nikolajsen, okay, the founder of Swiss crypto broker Bitcoin Swiss, predicts that Bitcoin will move to proof of stake once the Ethereum network has proven the algorithm's success. Bitcoin's current proof-of-work consensus algorithm, the pioneering concept which existed before Bitcoin, but has since become indissociable, is that a word, from the cryptocurrency, will probably change in the future, Nikolajsen argued. In outtakes from an interview conducted for a German TV documentary recorded back in October 2019 but uploaded on the 6th of April, Nikolajsen said, Bitcoin's move to proof-of-stake is not planned, but the second largest cryptocurrency, Ether, will move to a proof-of-stake concept that demands vastly less electricity already in a few months. Look at that. He's a little bit off with his dates. He said, I'm sure once the technology is proven that Bitcoin will adapt to it as well, end quote. Once it's proven that proof-of-stake works well, it's a superior system to proof-of-work, he said. In blockchains that use a proof-of-stake system, nodes in the network engage in validating blocks, rather than mining them, as in proof of work. For proof of stake, a deterministic algorithm selects block validators based on the number of tokens a given node has staked in their wallet. This is with Ethereum. If you have more than 32 Ether, you are allowed to stake by yourself, i.e. deposited as collateral in order to compete to add new blocks to the chain. Nikolajsen predicted that Bitcoin will eventually migrate to a proof of stake system was made in the context of a discussion of a notoriously high levels of electricity needed to sustain mining on the current network. I have a feeling that nowhere in the near 10 years is Bitcoin going to move to a proof of stake system. Part of the reason, and this is the argument, a lot of people think that Bitcoin actually derives its value or a portion of its value from needing the use of vast amounts of electricity. Not joking. It's actually a huge argument, is that if Bitcoin moves to proof of stake, then therefore it loses value in that aspect, as the electricity is the driving force behind its creation, and therefore Bitcoin has value also based on the amount of electricity being used to forcefully create it. Not joking. You can Google it. You can find around. I had people before. This was a discussion years ago when the idea of proof of stake first blossomed around 2015. And people were like, okay, cool. We have a way to change Bitcoin to make it less energy intensive, because this was also one of the very early things that people used to use as an argument against Bitcoin. It uses too much electricity, therefore something has to be terribly bad with it, and therefore it has to change. So people said, okay, cool, we'll change it. But lo and behold, people were like, nope, we're not going to change it. And this is why we had the entire discussion many times over, as far as people making sure when they do mine Bitcoin that they use either hydroelectricity, which is renewable because it's just from the water moving, or solar power, or some type of wind generated something, so that it's all renewable energy sources, but there's still a massive amount of energy being used to. This is the argument. This is just, don't scream at me. Don't write in the comment section some crazy stuff. It's just kind of the argument. I don't think Bitcoin will ever move to proof of stake. If it does, I think it honestly would probably gain more favor in the eyes of people who may not already like it for whatever reason they have in their minds. Because it would also, this would also be a real kicker. Imagine a situation where Bitcoin did move to proof of stake. It has nothing to do with Ethereum getting it or someone else getting it or less electricity. It would have to do with the fact that if you wanted to create new Bitcoin, you yourself would have to own Bitcoin. And the more Bitcoin you owned, the more easier it would be for you to be able to have the chance to validate a block. So imagine a situation where you have to own 32 Ether to be able to mine by yourself at home, should you wish, and therefore create more Ether as it goes on. Once again, also considering that Ether will be locked up. This is why whenever we do, actually get Ethereum 2.0, there's going to be tens of millions, tens of millions of Ether are going to be locked away in the actual proof of stake protocol. It's going to lessen the amount of Ethereum floating around. Imagine a situation where you had to have a whole Bitcoin or even half a Bitcoin to be able to create your own Bitcoin. And you didn't need a gigantic mining factory rig. You could just do it at home. That would change things very quick. I know a lot of people who have told me they own around half a Bitcoin, a whole Bitcoin. I can imagine people would rapidly try to get as many more as possible in an effort to once again stake them, which would lower the circulating supply of Bitcoin dramatically, very fast. And also, yeah, that people would be creating them. It just, it would be an interesting experiment. It would be even interesting if there was a proof of stake, proof of work hybrid on Bitcoin. All of this seems incredibly unlikely. I mean, also, I'm not a coder on the Bitcoin network. I'm not in their rooms or having discussions with them as to what the future of Bitcoin should probably is maybe going to be. But a hybrid system would also be very fascinating. It probably won't happen, and it probably wouldn't be discussed out loud until Bitcoin is probably over 100,000. Now imagine Bitcoin goes over to 100,000, and you're told, yeah, you have to have half a Bitcoin to be able to stake. Well, that discounts about a good 7.2 billion people on the planet, because they're not going to definitely have at least half a Bitcoin. Anyway, that's the Bitcoin proof of stake discussion, if you will. This is, like I said, this is not the first time that this has been discussed. I don't know what kind of weight Bitcoin Swiss's founder has in this discussion with the actual people who are developing on top of Bitcoin or any of the network consensus, but good luck to them. I hope it works out in their favor. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Let's move on. Here's the big news of the week. Images of China's mobile wallet supporting a new digital yuan are circulating on social media. They show the initial implementation of China's digital currency electronic payment, or DCEP, supporting a central bank digital currency. The images show a test version of a mobile app developed by one of China's largest state-owned banks, the Agricultural Bank of China. The pilot is reportedly being run by a small group of internal users, according to the South China Morning Post. An anonymous source said it's supposed to be confidential at this stage. This leak offers the first look into what China's digital currency may look like for the general public. Ling Tsang, executive director of mergers and associations at Binance, said, seems that testing wallet app is available for download. 4 cities will be available for the trial to begin, including Shenzhen, Chengdu, Suzhou, and Xionggang. Interesting that Xionggang, the newly state level area The newly state level new area is one of the first batch of the trial cities. Here's the actual thing right here, and they even translated some of it. Scan to pay, transfer, receive payment, touch it. Because it can receive and send when you are offline, this means you can simply touch your phone to others' phone to complete the transaction. Where in the future, convert to DC or manage your wallets. And here's another little screenshot right here. The interesting part that actually got me, I found it quite fascinating. For those of you who don't know, there are certain countries who like to have complete control over everything that happens everywhere, but more certainly within their own borders. So the fact that these images leaked and got out to the general public, I'm certain someone right now is in trouble because you were supposed to not be taking images of stuff. And even this person's camera right here was probably on full record the entire time once they got that app from the... So the app will allow users to pay merchants for goods and services by scanning a barcode. They can make peer-to-peer transactions by bumping 2 phones. Users will also be able to review transactions, check balances, and transfer and convert fiat yuan from a linked bank account into the digital currency. Unlike Bitcoin and truly decentralized cryptocurrencies, China's central bank digital currency will be tightly controlled, running on a centralized database. I don't think anyone's surprised by that. The news being, even this one right here. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says China plans to launch national blockchain platform next week. They are apparently way ahead of schedule. The idea was Libra was going to launch in June. And China said that they were going to try and launch theirs before Libra. And then Libra got pushed back to October. So then the news was that China would wait until June or July to fully release this. But alas, here we are. They are going to be how do I phrase this? One of the largest, a country with a large economy who's launching their central bank digital currency first. That's the kind of way to form the sentence. So yeah, we're here. I thought it would take us a couple of years, but 2019 showed me differently. And now because of 19, it looks like we even had news about this about 2 weeks ago. It was that they were ramping up efforts to make this happen a lot quicker. I assume that's part of the also being able to. I still wouldn't want to touch anybody else's phone. Just even before 19, I don't know where your phone has been. But yeah, that is the major news right now. And the news don't stop because it gets only crazier because everyone's trying to have a power grab right now. And that's just how the world is. If you could see my hands, they're like flying all over the room as I'm saying these words. Anyway, that's news. And in the next that news. Today, the Financial Stability Board, or the FSB, released a document addressing the regulatory, supervisory, and oversight challenges raised by global stablecoins. The document, although only consultative in nature, this is not a consultation, in nature, reveals disturbing plans for a globally coordinated move against stablecoins of all varieties. You heard that correct. The FSB makes 10 high-level recommendations to address the central banks and G20 authorities at the jurisdictional level. More specifically, they recommend a unified global approach to the supervision and regulation of fiat-pegged cryptocurrencies. Furthermore, the FSB suggests to authorities that if they can't control and regulate fully decentralized stablecoins, they should consider banning them. You heard that correct. Remember I said about 2 years ago, I said we have so many stablecoins entering the market. I said it's two things. They're either being created and or funded in part by a government who is just trying to test and see if there is a market for them, if you will. Because remember, we saw so many that came out in 2018, 2019 that said it's too many. Why the craze now? Like I understood the need or desire or usefulness, air quotes, of Tether. But I think at one point we had 45 in a couple of weeks, and it was like, okay. And then the other side, I was like, if they aren't in a couple of years regulated or fully lurched over by governments, they're going to be evaporated. I use the word evaporated instead. And this is why, once again, moving on back, why I said the people from Tether, that it's kind of odd that they keep putting their coin on different blockchains. Makes a bit more sense now. The FSB's primary focus is on the potential risks that stablecoins could pose to global financial stability, especially those targeted at retail investors. That's, for those of you who don't know, retail always means everyday normal people. It's just the way that they say it. These fiat-pegged cryptocurrencies represent a risk to the financial stability of emerging markets and developing countries. This was said inside the document. Moreover, the FSB argues that global stablecoins could pose significant governance challenges to central banks. The board seems especially concerned with the macro-financial problems that could arise if, over time, citizens in both advanced and emerging markets economies begin favoring stablecoins over existing fiat currencies, which is exactly the point to be made. In this generation, not even this generation, you don't even have to have been born as a millennial. We are used to digital everything, whether you want to believe it or not. You have a smartwatch, you have a smartphone, you have a smart tablet, you have a computer, you have a desktop, you have a laptop. We talk to each other during 19 through FaceTime, through all these other things, through Zoom. It's all digital. We live in a very digital world. We tap our phones, we tap our cards, we look at Netflix. Nearly everything that we do to keep in contact or to receive information in some form or way is digital. It's the same exact thing when it comes to money. This goes back once again It's all tied together. None of it is a conspiracy theory. None of it is so and so. When you have theories, it's about, is this possibly true? We know that this is true. This has all been in the news for about a good year and a half now. It's the same exact reason, once again, why the people from Kin and all the other ones have been stomped on the day before they were going to launch their coins. These are alternatives to the usage of the US dollar, to the euro, to the yen, and this is very dangerous for governments. They want to make sure that people are always using their currency at all times, and this is why other governments have problems with China's central bank digital currency, because the idea is, and the news that we got leaked before, which is, I have no doubt in my mind that it's going to be true, come true, is true. Remember all the apps I was telling you about, all the new ones that people keep using and I tell people not to use them? The one that said, like, what kind of Pokemon are you? And it was showing the thing over your head. These things are scanning your faces. And when people actually dig through it and they finally figure out, or go through the app store to figure out where these apps are coming from, they're all from China. All of them. All the time. All the face swap ones, or the face this, or I think even TikTok, like they have like 100 million users. They're also owned by Chinese companies. China controls everything within their country and everything that revolves around them. They know everything and they gather all of this information. So to think that they're simply allowing you, like, think of the cost. Remember the idea. This was said years ago. I don't know how many of you were using Facebook back in the way when there was a whole bunch of stuff going around and people thought that Facebook was going to start charging, or rather charge you to use their platform. And they started having that tagline at the very top. It said, Facebook is free and will always be free. And then people on the TV were like, well, why is Facebook free? It's because they throw things at you to buy. They throw this to so-and-so and they gather all of your information. So you can use the platform freely, but there is no real free. There's always a price for everything. You are paying in that they gather your information, but you can easily see cat videos and you can see what your friends are doing and how many of your friends are getting married and how many of them keep posting 17 photos of their newborn baby when the thing looks exactly the same for the last month and a half. There's always a price for everything that happens. So the entire point, dragging it all back, comes down to when you have other things happening. So think of it this way. We've seen the global collapse of the world's economy in about a good 10, 12 weeks' time. Think of this. The entire stay-at-home thing has only been going on between 4 to 6 weeks, depending on where you are. I know it seems a lot longer. It's only been that long, 4 to 6 weeks. We have had news the last 2 weeks that the world is in a recession, that the world is going into a depression, that this depression is probably going to be greater than the Great Depression. Imagine a situation where at the same exact time, almost parallel, people stop using the US dollar. People aren't going to stores. People aren't simply buying as much. Or people find a way to start using China's digital currency because they create an app or something that allows you to make quick, rapid payments. Imagine being able to go on AliExpress, Alipay, all these other things, and simply paying in China's digital currency because you actually get it for free. When you buy stuff, you get rewarded. You get some of it for free. So you're more incentivized to keep buying stuff, but using their currency. The usage of the US dollar ends up plummeting. Not many people are using it because it's a lot more advantageous during this time. And, you're not getting paid, so you send money to your friends through this app and through WhatsApp and through so-and-so and through Libra. But the US dollar isn't being used. Do you see where this is all going? So the idea that they, and I don't love when they release news like this. It's actually kind of creepy in many ways, but it's the admitting that there is, I don't want to use the word issue, but that there's something there that they're afraid of is always very fascinating to me. So imagine a world, now do you understand why there was so much heavy backlash against Facebook and them trying to create a new coin? Because you get into a situation where if a major bank maybe has 50 to 75 million customers or accounts, and you have Facebook who launches a coin like that and they have 1.5 billion users, and all of them are at that same exact moment allowed to use Libra. Imagine getting Libra for free. Imagine, what was it? Remember the thing we were reading before where they were talking about that if you, I forgot what it was. It was some app that they were trying to propose that if you watch an ad that you get money for it, but it was like a couple of cents. Now imagine on Facebook, every time you scroll by something, you get around 5 cents worth of whatever. worth of Libra. And eventually over time that ends up adding up. But you're more incentivized to then stay on Facebook. You're more incentivized to stay on Instagram, to send messages on WhatsApp. Imagine sending a message on WhatsApp and getting a cent worth of Libra. You then have, like, it's, the point is, people are already okay with the idea of using digital payments. And it's very easy to kind of get them to move over to your platform. If I incentivize you in some sort of way by giving you something to use my money, well, you're probably going to end up using it, especially if it's on a very cool, popular, amazing, awesome map that you're already using every single day. Here's free money. Use this use this once a week. Send your friends some so-and-so. This is how kind of things, it's so much. Like, there's so many layers to this. Like, you don't even understand how absolutely insane this is. Like, stable coins. Remember when we used to get those? Whew, almost out of breath. Remember when we used to get those things about 2 years ago? All the countries, all of them at some point used to release information saying that cryptocurrencies aren't a risk. Stable coins aren't a risk. These things are not a risk. We expect in about 10 years to be able to handle them. That was a year and a half, 2 years ago. It's to the point now where they're talking about if you can't control it, just ban them. Because we already have like, have you seen the amount of people who are actually using Tether? Like, it's collateralized through the US dollar, but no one's using the actual US dollar. When people are swapping from their cryptocurrencies, back and forth, should Bitcoin seem volatile, people swap into Tether, or they swap into Gus, or they swap into so-and-so, or they simply just swap into another cryptocurrency. Yeah, moreover, the FSB argues that, did I read this over time? Here we go. The guidance is aimed at both advancing and emerging economies. Authorities in advanced economies are primarily concerned with stablecoins designed in a decentralized nature, seeing risks in their reliability as a store of value. When I say there is a storm a-coming, you better believe we have about it, and I always think about a good 2 to 3 time year frame. We have about a good year and a half left. If all these predictions about Bitcoin hitting 50,000 either by the end of this year or 100,000 by the end of next year end up coming true, we are going to see a barrage of attacks against the cryptocurrency space unlike anything we've ever seen. It's gotten to the point where not only are people who don't have much money around the world are using Bitcoin, mining Bitcoin, trying to gather little bits of Bitcoin, but we also have the richest people on the planet also accumulating as well. If we ever get to a point, this is something very important to remember. I mean, it's just, I wish I could line up everything and in a clear, concise thought, because my brain is going in so many different directions right now. The issue is going to be, we're going to see a rapid rise in central bank digital currencies. If whatever China's planning on doing within the next week, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, by summer has worked out even remotely well, we're going to start seeing a lot more countries saying, hey, we just happen to have ours. It's not like we built this 2 years ago. We're going to start rolling it out as well. If this ends up linking people to universal basic income as well, to the point where download this app, it's going to be in the digital US dollar, you're going to be getting paid this way. This also kind of becomes like trying to choose my words because there's a very vulgar way of saying this. It's like a mother cow with her calf. That calf always needs to go to her for milk. And this would be the only way for the calf to actually get milk, kind of way. So stablecoin, I mean, the cryptocurrency market, and this is why I don't know. I like to see the evolution of the market. I like to see it continue forward. I like to see it growing as it has been, because it's necessary. Because they are going to try and do everything that they possibly can. You'd better believe, if they're having discussions about banning stable coins, which are literally just based off of fiat currencies that's kind of just locked away inside of somewhere, like it's still basically the dollar or the euro or the yen is just in a digital format that they don't control. They are without a doubt having discussions about trying to figure out how to ban Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. You'd better believe this is actually taking place. But the problem for them is, as Bitcoin rises in price, Bitcoin's popularity rises. As Bitcoin's popularity rises, it rises in price. Once we pass by 20,000, that's it. There's going to be no more turning back. The infrastructure that we had in 2017 for the cryptocurrency space was basically garbage. It was like a pile of hot garbage. What we have now outclasses anything that I could have ever thought that we would have. The bull run that we're going to have is going to be incredibly massive. Don't forget that there's going to be a pullback after that. With the amount of new faces that we're going to see into the market, the amount of money that's going to be made, it's going to solidify crypto as a complete asset class, and is going to be almost impossible to break. So while Bitcoin may not seem dangerous right now, when it hits 50,000, expect to hear me talking about news about governments trying to ban Bitcoin, or harassing people, or taking mining equipment from them, or so and so and so, who are trying to use Bitcoin and or use Bitcoin as a means of store value, transfer. It doesn't really matter. It's going to happen. The issue is that, I mean, there's a lot. I think I'm done with this actual topic. Here's the PDF right here. It says Financial Stability Board, embargo not to be released before the 14th of April. Addressing the regulatory, supervisory, and oversight challenges raised by global stablecoin arrangements. I'm not going to go through the entire thing, but it's all right here. How insane, how quickly the world has changed since the 1st of January. We are in a completely different world, and it's only going to get crazier as everything continues to digitize. Like, did you ever foresee a moment like years ago where all of this would be seen as a threat in some sort of way to countries or the financial stability of so-and-so? Like, imagine how easy it is. I know tons of friends who basically only transact more or less in crypto. They do internet jobs and they get paid in crypto. They actually stake their coins by themselves and make money through this in crypto. They find a way to swap it back and forth, however they do so, to be able, like, it's fascinating. And I know for a fact people would have immediately used Libra. People are still going to use Libra. We all know what's going to happen, and it's going to spawn a whole bunch of clones on different platforms. But the interesting part will be when we actually start in mass having decentralized applications that can't be shut down, where you can't go to someone's office and knock on their door and tell them to, shut it off, shut it down, you get in trouble. When you can't find these people because they're all anonymous, what do? How do you control things? And even all the proposals that we've had for Bitcoin to have private transactions. Like, you think they hate Monero, Zcash, and Dash now? Imagine the #1 cryptocurrency having complete private transactions, or coin mixing, or allowing the obfuscation of where these, it's very, very fascinating. So I look forward to seeing where all of this is going to go. There will be a fight ahead. Don't think that this is going to be smooth sailing. As choppy as the prices are, get ready, because there are a lot of countries who already don't like Bitcoin. There are a couple of countries who already banned Bitcoin. So get ready for that point when people are choosing to buy Bitcoin over stocks, when people are investing in cryptocurrencies more than they are in the real estate market, or when people are simply choosing at some point in the future to just transact almost exclusively in decentralized crypto that they got from somewhere else, as opposed to using US dollars, euros, or yen. It is very, 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 very strange times ahead. Yeah, let's move on. Next up, Coinbase Custody is launching staking support for holders of Polkadot's DOT token with the help of blockchain infrastructure firm Bison Trails. Announced on Tuesday, the integration allows DOT holders to keep their tokens in offline Coinbase custody vaults and stake them through Bison Trails validators. DOT staking is integral to, almost said Plitcoins, to Polkadot's, I'm used to saying Bitcoin all the time, Polkadot's proof of stake network, okay, which is said to reward those who commit their tokens with up to 20% returns. Okay. For people who custody with Coinbase Custody and want to stake with secure and highly available Bison Trail validators, This integration is a game changer. DOT holders now have the unique ability to utilize both our leading blockchain infrastructure and the leading custodian of crypto assets to ensure tokens are secure and that they are earning participatory rewards. The integration follows Bison Trails and Coinbase Custody's February partnership with multi-chain interoperability protocol Polkadot. So apparently, you'll be able to. Does it say when anywhere? Is it something? Nope, doesn't say when. I give it a couple days, if not the beginning of next week. Polkadot's mainnet has not yet launched. So why are you? Coinbase is a fascinating company. I'm going to answer a couple things right now. People in the comment section keep inquiring, and I apologize for not directly responding to all of you, because I usually get about 10 of them per video. It's not that I don't like Coinbase, is I think there are other platforms that are better. Coinbase got the jump on the cryptocurrency market. I think Coinbase has been around since 2011 or 2012. So they've been around for the longest, and they have the most regulation around them, infrastructure, if you will. I've had a lot of trouble in the past, me, myself, personally, on Coinbase, trying to move my coins around, trying to withdraw my coins, being told I could not move my coins, asking why I was moving my coins. It was all this really weird stuff that I didn't really care for because I like the idea of having control of my own money. The other side of it is also Coinbase's fees and how they deal with stuff, and how there were a lot of companies who came forward in the beginning of the cryptocurrency times who claimed they loved decentralization, they loved this, money for the people, power to the so-and-so, boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. But over time, I've noticed, and I'm pretty sure you've noticed as well, money is a very big influencer on how companies will actually act or react or actually do their business dealings. Before, in the past, before even the entire add XRP fiasco, which they knew they were going to do, but they made sure to take a very long time, people used to ask Coinbase to add different coins, and they never did. And when they did add coins, it was always coins that benefited them, or that they had a stake in, or from a company that they had a partnership in. And it's always like, well, we didn't ask you to add that coin. Can you just add the coin that people actually want to be added to the platform? Even weirder, think of it this way. Coinbase is going to be adding staking support for Polkadot, whose mainnet hasn't even launched yet. Does Coinbase have Cardano on their platform? They also haven't announced future staking for Cardano when they actually launch Shelly. Which is also, if you kind of want to put it in the same basket, if Polkadot's mainnet hasn't launched, why not just also announce Cardano? Not gunning or vying for Cardano. It's just more like Coinbase always seems a little shady in my eyes every time we kind of get news about them. I guess the major news being, if you have Polkadot, you can start one day will be able to eventually be able to staking with their tokens when the mainnet has launched and get up to 20% returns. I guess the main major news being the 20%. That 20% is major. I don't know how their inflation rate works, that you'll be able to get 20% returns. But here's the actual price of Polkadot. I think I heard about this coin years ago. I don't know what number ranking it is. Does it say it anywhere? I don't see the number ranking anywhere. Apparently, it was released in October 2017. Still no mainnet launch. No information on the circulating supply. No information on the market cap. Yeah, so this is Polkadot. It's 120 per coin. How many? Are there like 5 coins in total? Oh, we'll never know because they don't have the actual thing right there. It's just always something weird. I'm going to assume also that Polkadot is probably an ERC20 token. Does it say it anywhere around here? ERC? I'm certain. I can feel it in my head that it's probably an ERC20 token. For some reason, not even for some reason, Coinbase gives super luxury support to everything Ethereum. Not saying that everyone shouldn't have their favorite coin, but you kind of see where I'm going with it. Anyway, yeah, Coinbase adding Polkadot support to 20% staking rewards returns. Polkadot. Yeah. Let's move on. Next up, Huobi Group has launched an in-house transaction intelligence tool to sniff out illicit activity across its crypto exchanges. Illicit activity. I wonder what that could be. The new program called Star Atlas, because it has to have a cute name, will automatically freeze accounts deemed to be engaging in suspicious transactions until a compliance officer follows up on the case. If you don't have most of your cryptocurrencies on ledgers by now and you're not seeing this trend rapidly continuing, I really just understand there are cryptocurrency exchanges that already require you to donate blood and give samples of your hair if you want to take off your cryptocurrency. That's not even a joke. I mean, that part's a joke. But I mean, like in general, how much you have to do to be able to, you can easily put your money on it, but to take it off, it's always a struggle. Why is it a struggle? Ask them, because they all have banking charters. At the same exact time, if it's difficult for you to, imagine being difficult to get your money off of the exchange now. Now just imagine when Bitcoin's price goes back to 50,000 or over above 50,000. Imagine if XRP goes to $8 and you have tons of money on XRP and you're trying to move it, and the people from the crypto exchange are like, hey, what are you doing? What's going on? The issue with suspicious or illicit activity could something be as simple as you trying to move more than $9,000 worth of something. That is suspicious. That is illicit. Why did you not tell the cryptocurrency exchange before that you were trying to move your money? All of these places have banking charters. They are basically banks. It's been difficult before for other people, like I told you. I had multiple times where I was trying to get my money off of Coinbase, and I remember they swapped my account into like different countries one time, and I was like, I didn't tell you to do that. It's a whole bunch of stuff. There's a lot of confusion. I do recommend, this is just my recommendation, this is what I do. I keep about anywhere from 1 to, I dare not even say the word 5. 1 to 5% of my crypto holdings on crypto exchanges as a just in case. 95% of it is kept other places. The point being, I always want to have a bit of a fail safe. So should the 95% of the other stuff I have, wherever it might be, poof, disappear, I can still go to 3 other crypto exchanges and still have some money on there. It's always just a backup. However, they will never have more than 5% of my crypto because of situations like this. It always comes down to something illicit, something illegal, something someone else is doing that's illegal, and therefore you also fall under the purview as well of them having to freeze suspicious transactions. Until a compliance officer follows up on the case, according to a Monday press release, it will help Huobi's exchanges target abnormal behaviors, people moving their own money around, and problematic transactions in real time. What the exchange group deems illicit behavior patterns was not immediately clear, and they will never tell you exactly what it is because it could be anything that they deem to be illicit or suspicious, or whatever monster is breathing down their neck telling them, hey, from now on, this is now suspicious, because if they tell you one thing and you do something else and you still get caught, you can get them in trouble by saying this was never illegal. So they will never tell you exactly what is suspicious. The firm did not respond to requests for comments by press time. Wow, okay. However, the press release said Star Atlas will reference a trove of blacklisted addresses in its monitoring of user transactions. For those of you who don't understand what a blacklisted address is, I'm trying to give it to you really quick. Let's say you and 15 friends are sending cryptocurrency between yourselves. You're number 1. You send it to a friend. He's number 2. Number 2 sends it to number 3. Number 3 sends it to number 4. Number 4 sends it to number 5. Number 5 gets it, and he's like, I don't want to buy something illegal. He buys something on the interwebs that is deemed illegal, and all of a sudden his address, because they know that it's linked to the actual purchase of said illegal thing, then gets blacklisted. It starts going on to different cryptocurrency exchanges and also government pages that says this person has done something illicit. Number 5 actually gets some of the money back from the purchase, whatever, yada, 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 but his account is still blacklisted. Number 5 sends money to number 6. Number 6 sends money to number 7. Number 7 sends money to number 8. Number 8 sends money to number 9. And number 9 tries to put their money into a cryptocurrency exchange, but they can't. Or when it goes onto the exchange, they get an email that says, your account has been flagged for illegal activity. I didn't do anything. Yeah, but it says that something is wrong with the cryptocurrency transaction that you provided. Why does it say that? For those of you who don't know, whenever a cryptocurrency exchange transaction is sent, there's an input and an output. It shows where it went in and where it came out of. That's kind of the easiest way of saying it. So as you're sending money to all your friends, one sends it to two. The transaction on the actual Bitcoin ledger says the number is now 1, 2. Number 2 sends it to 3. So the number is now 1, 2, 2, 3 linked together, and it keeps getting bigger. The more times that Bitcoin is sent around to different addresses, it keeps getting bigger and bigger. So by the time it gets to number 9, the input-output transaction number shows 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, on and on in a long string of numbers that shows where all the block transactions were validated. Simplest way I can really simplify that I can kind of put it. So by the time number 5 did something illegal and number 9 got it, they're still linked up on that long chain of that number 5 being flagged. So if you put it onto a cryptocurrency exchange, well, then you by association have also kind of done something illegal because you got it from someone else who did something illegal. That's kind of the entire idea behind it. But, also, remember the conversations we were having last year about investors who were trying to get clean coins? The entire discussion of non-fungible tokens. So when you buy something with the US dollar or a euro or something else, if you hand someone $1 and they hand you back $1, you usually cannot tell the difference between them. However, because not all Bitcoin are created equally in the eyes of the government, if you send a Bitcoin or receive a Bitcoin that's around 9 years old, has been passed around hundreds and hundreds of times. It has a huge string of addresses all attached to it everywhere that it's been. If you mint a fresh new coin, there are no transactions on it except for the birth number, as it were. So there are a lot of investors who only want clean Bitcoin. They're actually willing to even pay higher prices for said Bitcoin because it doesn't have a string of other transactions that may link it to other illegal activity. Crazy, right? So the discussion has been for a long time, and I'm waiting for the implementation of this, even a alpha or beta implementation of it, is that you kind of make all Bitcoin addresses and all Bitcoin transactions kind of look exactly the same. So anyone who's trying to check for illicit activity or illicit so-and-so or suspicious this, they can't really tell because all transactions look exactly the same on the Bitcoin blockchain. Get it? Hope I explained that correctly. Global Business VP Ciara Sun said in a press release that Star Atlas will help the group's exchanges crack down on bad actors whose shady dealings imperil crypto for the majority of rule-following users. That's It's wild. It's really wild. It's absolutely, I don't know how people can even say stuff like that with a straight face. It's the same exact thing from the people from whatever. Not going to name any names. The point being, yeah, Huobi is now going to hyper track transactions, and they will automatically freeze your account if they deem it to be suspicious. And don't think that it's just Huobi. Coinbase also does this. I would be appalled if the Gemini twins didn't already do it. The Gemini twins seem like the biggest snitches on the planet. I'm pretty sure they would do this immediately to try and make sure that all of this was implemented. Like, I'm pretty sure they implemented this before the government even told them. They were like, no. No, we got it. Don't worry. We definitely implemented that about 5 weeks before the exchange launched. Yeah, just always know that it is legal for you to have your stuff on a ledger, to have your stuff on your computer, because that's how rules work. As long as you're legally able to do so, make sure you do so, because I am not in the mood. I'm not. By next spring, this winter, whenever crypto might decide to explode in price, to see people in the comment section talking about they can't access their money, they're so-and-so, they're broke. There have definitely been a lot of people, and you can even Google around for this as well, Tons of people who've been locked out of their cryptocurrency exchange accounts. They've been frozen. They've been deleted. They've been so-and-so. I'm not joking. Or like, it takes months to contact the crypto exchange to be able to get your money back. And by then, whatever price you wanted to sell, well, good luck, because the money's frozen. You can't get it. And you have to wait about a good 3 months sending them documentation and FaceTiming with someone to let them know that it's actually you. And then you get tons of questions as to, why'd you do this? Why were you? It's nonsense. It's all complete nonsense. So I had hoped at this point, and I mean a nice hope. I had hoped that we would have seen more decentralized exchanges. I know that there are a lot of them out there. I wish they had become more popular, because we need private transactions on all the major cryptos. We need decentralized exchanges, and we need an actual getaway from centralized entities. The point of crypto is to be your own master, to be the head of your own household, not to have to run from a bank, to run from and then to run to a crypto exchange, saying he hurt me, help me, when they have all the same documents that the other place who was punching you in the face for years also have. Everything that we've heard, these places are basically banks. Banks also freeze your transactions and freeze your accounts if they deem something to be suspicious. Anyway, that's the Huobi news for today. And to finish things off, Binance announced on Tuesday the addition of 2 more fiat options, the Indian rupee and the Indonesian rupee, to its peer-to-peer platform. With this addition, the total number of supported fiat currencies on the peer-to-peer exchange has reached just 20? I assume there was like 40 at this point. Mentioning the development, Changpeng Zhao, founder and CEO of Binance, said, India and Indonesia are 2 of the largest emerging markets with tremendous potential in crypto adoption, and we are pleased to empower the massive population with easy-to-use crypto access. Binance launched its peer-to-peer exchange last October with the Chinese Yuan, facilitating crypto exchange to lucrative Chinese traders who are deprived of using centralized cryptocurrency exchanges. Good job, Binance, for doing something. I don't think that Binance is perfect. I think there is nothing on the planet that is perfect. However, when it comes to actually spreading the good word of crypto and really making people making crypto available to them, this is what I mean. Around the same exact time where Binance has added 20 fiat options to their platform, Coinbase is adding Polkadot. When Binance has opened multiple cryptocurrency exchanges in Africa, in South America, in Southeast Asia, in Singapore, all over Europe, the Binance twins, I think they added 2 new coins to their platform. It's just complete nonsense. I think I'd have, this is me. I think I'd have a lot more, I don't want to use the word respect. Respect seems a bit too heavy. I'd have a lot more something if Coinbase and Gemini twins and other exchanges actually, like, they don't seem to care. It's all very on the surface. Who the heck cares about Polkadot? Why are you adding Polkadot support when you could be opening up tons of other crypto exchanges and or fiat options for all the other people around the world? Imagine if in the future Bitcoin passes by 10,000, 15, and 20,000. Where do you think hundreds of millions of people around the world are going to go to try and get their crypto? It's going to be through Binance. They're going to Google how to buy Bitcoin. They're going to be shown Gemini twins and also Coinbase, and they go to these platforms and they're not going to see their money there. And they're going to go, where can I do this? They're going to start looking around and they're going to figure out that their currency is listed through Binance, and therefore, like, they're supporting fiat currencies. Why is it that Coinbase, that's been around for 8 years, still only has, I think it's the US dollar, the Canadian dollar, the euro, the pound, I think the Japanese yen, Australian dollar, question mark? And maybe the South African rand. Maybe. Anyway, like I said, I don't think that Binance is perfect. I think we all have our faults in what we do and how we operate things. However, When it comes to increasing adoption and increasing like networks so that people like, it's always Binance. Why is Binance in the news 15 times a day, always doing something good or always increasing the outreach and outlook for cryptocurrencies? This is why, I guess, to finish off that thought from a while ago, why I don't care for Coinbase. Because it's always news like this from Coinbase. It's never anything that actually benefits anyone else. It's always in some way to benefit them. Remember in 2018, 2019, where they pretty much, people were asking them for so long to add different coins or to add new features to their platform. And Coinbase outright said in multiple statements, they said the future is going to be institutional investors, that retail is normal people, institutional is very rich. Remember all those things that they launched, all the custody things that were just for rich people, all the other things, all the staking, all the so-and-so, all the Coinbase Pro, these were all just for rich people in the very beginning. And then when there wasn't a flood of institutional money dying to enter the cryptocurrency space, they had these announcements months later. We've now opened it up for retail investors. It's like, you don't care about us. You don't care at all about normal people. It's always just about what benefits Coinbase. It's the same exact thing. Add Cardano, add Tron, add XRP, add so-and-so, add this. You got it. We're going to add 50 ERC20 tokens. We didn't ask you for that. It's the same. Raise your hand, and I swear to goodness, don't lie. How many of you emailed Coinbase begging them to add Polkadot? I need my Polkadot on Coinbase. It's probably 3 people on this planet who are asking them, and the 3 people are probably the heads of Polkadot who signed the actual agreement with the people from Coinbase. Imagine if the news that we got from Coinbase was that they had recently expanded into South America. They opened up 2 new places, one in Nigeria, one in South Africa. They have a whole bunch of new offices around China. They're trying to open up an office in Singapore and in Indonesia to make sure that people around the world, when the cryptocurrency market does go, even just to give more infrastructure, that people can use them as an option. It's never Coinbase. Coinbase always just does what benefits them, and that's why I don't care for them. Always. It's been this way for years. Remember the other video where I was talking about how long I've been in the cryptocurrency space? It's been the same nonsense from Coinbase non-stop. It even took them a while to even think of adding Ethereum. That was also a challenge. They only wanted to have Bitcoin on their platform. I think they added Ethereum and Litecoin the same exact day, and that was like a whoa. You guys have 3 coins now? That's absolutely insane. If you were here in 2017, you remember all of that. You remember when they had so few coins and people were add Stellar, add this to your platform. To them, it's just money. They care nothing about decentralization. Zero. Not even, they don't, it means nothing to them. It's just money that they can get from other people and how much they can squeeze from other people. Same exact thing. The fact that people are still using Coinbase with a 25% fee to stake Tezos is blowing my mind. Boom. My mind has completely exploded. I can't even deal with it. I don't get it. It's always the same. And I know their interface is cool and it's pretty and it's blue and it's white and it's awesome and it's super easy to click around and it's very basic so you know exactly what you're doing. No. Just learn the other 8 buttons that Binance has on their screen. And then you get 0% fees. And someone tried to argue with me the other day. They said, I think Coinbase gives daily staking rewards on Tezos or something like that. It still comes out to the 5 or 6%. Just because it's daily, that 5 or 6% doesn't change for the year. If Binance is giving you 6% and Coinbase is giving you 6%, at the end of the year, it's still 6%. You're not getting more money because of the day on day. It's still calculated as a 5 to 6% yearly return. And that's not worth 25%. It's not. If I'm trying to sell a property and there's one person who's like, yeah, my commission fee is, I dare not say 0 for a commission fee for selling a flat. Even if their commission fee is 3.9% and the other person is like, mine is 25%, the moment I heard them say the word twent, I would have turned already. I would have looked away. This is why then even on top of that, all the news I've heard from other people who've used Coinbase who had trouble getting their money off of it and all the trouble I had, it's scary. You have money on it, you have a lot of money on a cryptocurrency exchange and you're trying to get it off to put it onto ledgers or to put it somewhere else and you can't. and you have to contact someone and hope by the grace of goodness that they're not almost cursed. They're not an AH, and that they'll actually work with you to get your money off. And then when you get your money off, it's like this huge sigh of relief, but it shouldn't be. It's your freaking money. Let me take my money off that I put onto your platform. It's nuts. This is why Binance gets my support. Like, completely and truly and utterly, that's it. That's exactly what it is. Like I said, I know they're not perfect. I don't work for Binance. I don't sit in the office during the Binance meetings. I don't know Changpeng Cao. But I'll tell you right now, when it comes to the actual development and strengthening of the cryptocurrency space, Binance is it. Binance definitely has my support. 1 bajillion%. If I see 5 to 10% of an inkling of what Binance is doing from the Gemini twins or from Coinbase, they'll probably get some of my support as well. But it's always the same nonsense. It's been this way for years. Don't ever forget. Not only did we used to have to beg Coinbase to add coins to their platform, it's so many things. They used to always not pay attention. They told us for years, it was 2 years, that the market was just for institutional investors. They were only focusing on the very rich institutional investors. They had all these other things that were just for institutional investors. And then when there were no rich people using their platforms, they had all of these, yeah, we're now opening it up to everyone because we feel that the future of the cryptocurrency space is everyone. Really? You didn't feel that way 13 months ago when you thought all this money was going to come flooding to you from rich people. So now you need normal, everyday people to also give you money so you can stay afloat? I'm trying so hard not to curse. You have no idea. It's very difficult. If you ever heard me on my other channel, I kind of let loose. It's nonsense. Anyway, that's the news for today. I'm officially riled up. I did not think I would get riled up. Like, it's when I start putting together videos, it's so funny because I already have like the outline in my head for how things are gonna go. Always something sets me off. Always something sets me off. It's either Coinbase or it's coins who keep announcing that they have partnerships that aren't partnerships. Sets me off. It makes me so angry that we keep having these discussions. And the issue with it is, I know Coinbase is going to be around for a long time. That's the problem. I know they're going to be around for at least the next 15, 20 years. I can feel it. I can just see it. That's going to do it for the news. I know my neighbors love me. My neighbors have to be like, woo! I know they love the early morning screaming. I'm sure that definitely does it for them. As always, a very special thank you. My gosh, I have no breath. Very special thank you to my Patreon supporters, Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Yasha Harari, Moonman High, XRP, Joshua Vineyard, Martin Stoyer, Sorry if I'm Screaming, Josh Gorsica, Chongo Lolo, Tsongo Lolo, Nostromo, Mr. Pickles, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, A Bibliophobia, Barebones Mining, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Mohair Maroney, Master Ventures in Thailand, Brady Niels, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Crypto Joe, Bankroll Network, Adobo, Mil Weezy, Crypto Artist, Cold D3D, Nicholas Renault, One Piece, One Love, Damian Setsuna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Rich III, Vlad the Impaler, Crypto and Be a Shipmate, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori. Every time I read Mangialavori, I just want to go to Italy. I'm not even joking. I kid you not. Is that name Italian? Every time I read Nick Mangialavori, I just think of a beach in Italy. I don't know what it is. It drives me crazy. Anthony Charles, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hitch Test Every Day, and Kyle Skips Leg Day. Yes to Crypto. Bodie McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, ARRF Medic 17, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger Macho Nisa, On Crypto with Lionel, Crayola Michelle, URL, and Hold On, I have to sneeze. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Thank you for being Patreon members. Thank you for being awesome people. Thank you for sticking with me through all these ridiculous times. And thank you to every single one of you who is a member of the channel by clicking the little join button below. At the moment, before I started this video, Bitcoin was at 77? No, 67. It's like 67.42. I can't remember the exact number. And as I started the video, it was like at 68. I was like, okay. And if you saw me clicking through some of the tabs, I think it's at like 69. At the moment, Bitcoin is at 7,054. It has been moving up. This is 6, 2 hours. The last 2 hours, the price has been moving upward. No immediate idea as to why. Ethereum seems to be pumping the hardest at around 7%. It could be a Ethereum 2.0 pump. It could be that there was some type of news that we just got right now. Because for those of you, I mean, you should all know at this point, while Bitcoin is usually the only trading pair for many coins, it's also Ether as well. So a lot of times when Ether pumps, the market also tends to follow. It's not often. However, it does take place sometimes. Yeah, the market is, EOS is up by 7%. Tezos is up. Boopadoop is up. Zcash is up by 10%. Who the heck knows why? But it's nice to see the market, at least some of the market, in green. I assume over the next couple of hours we will there goes Bitcoin Diamond. I assume over the next couple of hours we will receive some type of news as to exactly what happened, what the momentum was. I can only assume in my heart of hearts that the stock exchanges around the world are not going up because, you know, reality, just based off of everything that we've been reading the last couple of days, not even months or weeks, but the last 2 days from the IMF and all the big major banks, maybe this is just reality setting in, and the fact that cryptocurrencies were undervalued and shouldn't have been that low in the first place. Once again, no fundamentals have changed, and Bitcoin's still up and running. We haven't, now, you know, Bitcoin doesn't have 35 transactions per second, but we all know that it still has the same as it had before when it hit 20,000. So yeah, or maybe some futures expired today. That could also do it, which is nonsense. I was discussing with my friend. Hello, he knows who he is. We were discussing the actual expiration of futures, or the filling of the gap with futures and having to cause Bitcoin to go down or go up. It's nonsense. It's just there's just so much stuff that happens within the cryptocurrency space. It just boggles my mind. You know what I'm looking forward to? I'm looking forward to when the halving takes place. Because as of right now, for some reason, Bitcoin's price is affected by US dollars being traded on a futures exchange. And for some reason, according to legend, this affects Bitcoin's price. I wonder how that's going to affect Bitcoin's price when more fiat is being printed and half the amount of Bitcoin are actually being created and or minted in the world. It logically, mathematically makes no sense. Like, we know that Bitcoin stock to flow will completely change from where it was before, as the amount being created will drop in half. But we also know that $7 trillion US has been created in the last 3 months and is now being pumped into it. It makes no sense. So I'm excited for it. I want to see exactly where this ends up going. I'm excited for the crunch. I'm excited for the, what's the phrase that people have been using? The supply shock of Bitcoin. That's definitely going to do it, because the demand is still there. People are still buying. I'm still buying. You're still buying. My friends are still buying. Everyone I know is still buying. And the reward is going to get cut in half. So the issuance rate is definitely not going to be the same as it was before, as it is right now. But the demand will still remain. Even more so, I'll probably even be buying more when the issuance rate goes down, just because I know that there's going to be less created. Crazy, right? Anyway, this was a fun video. This one, I was a little tired when I started. I was a little whatever, but got the blood pumping. These look like faces. Or is it just me? Like a lip, mouth? No, wait. There's no eyes. Never mind. Like a flat forehead. That is definitely going to do it for this video. Weird times ahead, man. I don't think Bitcoin's not going to have proof of stake. It would be great. I think it would be great to have the option. That's the point to be made. I don't think Bitcoin will transition completely to proof of stake, but to have the option to be able to gather more Bitcoin and to be able to stake and make more Bitcoin at home would be incredible. Can you imagine what that would do for the price of Bitcoin? If there's 18 million, 6 million are lost, that's 12 million. If you had about a good 8 million Bitcoin locked up to create more Bitcoin, that'd be grand. And also, we're here. We're in the future. Didn't think we would make it, but lo and behold, here we are. Central bank digital currencies are now a thing. And get ready, because it's going to get real very, very quick. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning. Who cares about Polkadot? I mean, listen, I'm not saying that Polkadot isn't great, amazing, wonderful. The same as I think with Chainlink. Amazing. I love them. They're super cool. They're awesome. They have great names. They have, you know, wow, they move blockchains. But honestly, and I mean honestly, we all know, me, you, us, our people, we all know Coinbase was getting more requests for Cardano than they were for Polkadot. We all know it. We all know it. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.